Well, hello everybody. Glad to have you here this fine day. If you want to follow along, we will be back in the 31st proverb, beginning in verse 3. And we've kind of got introduced the last few days to a man named Lemuel's mother. Don't know her name, but we know she was a wise woman. We can tell that by the advice that she gives. And so if you'll look with me in verse 3, we're going to see three particular pieces of wisdom that she shares with her son. And good wisdom, good caution for all of us today. And so beginning in verse 3, she says, "Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to do that which destroyeth kings." First thing she warns her son about is the danger of immorality, the danger about lust and adultery, fornication. Kings typically, from what we see in that region, in that time period, it was common for the kings to have large harems. And we know that God had warned Israel against that. And so she warns him. That's not a good practice. You need to be careful. And look what she says, don't give your strength unto women. You have other things to worry about. You're the king. Don't use up your energy chasing women when your nation needs you. And if you do, she says, those are the things that destroy kings. They will ruin you. And so she warns him against the danger of chasing after women. Verse 4, she says, "It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor the princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more." So we have the saying, wine, women, and song. She goes women and wine. She turns it around a little bit, warns him against the danger of being intoxicated, of strong drink that could cloud his judgment. In particular, as king, she says you don't need to be under the influence when you're making decisions that affect so many people. You don't need to be under the influence when your reputation could be damaged, when you could do something foolish under the influence. And so she says, avoid that. She says, again, in many cases in their day, they had to use strong drink for medicine. She says it's acceptable to use for medicine, and it just says that's acceptable. But Lemuel, you don't need to be under the influence and trying to be the man that God has called you to be. And then in verse 8 says, "Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such are as appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy." Avoid women, not avoid women, but you don't need a harem. If you get a wife, that's one thing, but don't spend your time and energy chasing women. Alcohol, strong drink, and then finally, her third piece of advice to him was to defend those, take care of those that are unable to defend themselves. This is a fairly common lesson in the book of Proverbs that we speak up we help defend those who are defenseless. Verse 8. She says, "Open thy mouth for the dumb." She's not being insulting about those who have some type of mental problem or are uneducated, anything of that nature. But she's talking about those who are, again, who are unable to defend themselves, those in power that can use their position to harm those who are with less influence. And so she says you need to stand up for them, and that's good advice even today. All three of these pieces of wisdom, in particular among leaders, men in a position like Lemuel, but all of us, we all have opportunity to follow out and to live by this wisdom that she shares, and should be living by that wisdom. Immorality, intoxication, God says is dangerous, can get us in a lot of trouble, and then that we would be like God Himself, who helps those who cannot help themselves. And so, three good pieces of wisdom for us to live by, for us to pass on and teach to our children, that they might learn these ways of wisdom as well. Have a good day. See you back here first thing tomorrow morning.